Hello everybody, and we're back here with Showdown Live, and today we're going to be using a really interesting, we're playing a really interesting metagame. The ORAS OU metagame came out not too long ago, and right now it's listed as the other metagame of the month, but I think it's pretty much going to stay there until the official ORAS release. So I was really excited when they announced Mega Metagross, because Metagross has always been like one of my favorite Pokemon ever since Generation 3, and unfortunately it hasn't really been doing too well in OU. In Generation 5, it never actually dropped, but it was just not very viable over something like Jirachi. And then Generation 6 was even worse for it. Luckily, it actually did manage to drop back down to UU, where it's been decent. Jirachi still overshadows it, but now that it has a Mega, a lot of new life breathed into it, especially now that Aegislash is banned from OU. So I just kind of slapped together a team to deal with some of the most common threats. A lot of people sleep on Pursuit, but it is boosted by Tough Claws, and you do speed type with Latios and Latias anyway. So I think Metagross is going to be a really beastly Pursuit Trapper, and along with that, I paired Keldeo. Keldeo Mega Metagross is a core I see getting it's a core that I foresee getting used a lot in OU. They cover each other's checks really well. Good offensive synergy. And I knew I needed a Stealth Rocker after that. And an immunity to ground type attacks. So I just picked Landorus Therian. I didn't want to go with the Scarf set just because Mega Salamence is running around. That's actually precisely the reason I have Hidden Power Ice here. So I always break Mega Mantis subs, even if he comes in with the Intimidate. And I also beat opposing Landorus Therian. I wasn't really too worried about bird spam just because stuff like Talonflame, just because I do have Magneton who outspeeds Talonflame. This is actually the reason I chose. There's two reasons I chose Magneton over Magnezone, and those two reasons are named Greninja and Talonflame. I wanted to be able to switch into despite having a really awful base HP, it can still come in on Brave Bird and just Volt Switch out of there. It doesn't get checked by Greninja because it does outspeed it, and I can just Volt Switch out of that. Because otherwise, I don't have a whole lot for Greninja on this team, besides my own Greninja, of course. And it still does Magnezone's job pretty well. I don't know why a lot of people sleep on Magneton. The extra speed does come in handy. And even if you can't one-shot Ferrothorn, Hidden Power does enough damage to where either Landorus Therian or Greninja or Excadrill can take it out. And after that, I knew I needed something to take care of the opposing team's hazards. So I just kind of slapped on Excadrill because I didn't want to lose my own hazards, since it's one of the most essential things to a Mega Metagross sweep. Since it doesn't really have a boosting move, it's really reliant on hazards to sweep late game. So I just chose just standard Air Balloon, Mold Breaker, Excadrill, and also because I needed something for Rotom W, and so Mold Breaker allows me to hit it. And actually looking at this team, I just really needed Rotom W weekend. I feel like this team does it well enough to where Mega Metagross can just come in later and KO with Zen Headbutt. Then the last Pokemon is Greninja, just because why not? It's arguably one of the best, if not the best, non-Mega Pokemon in ORAS. There's really no reason not to just slap it onto a team. It does work against most every team. I decided to use a Spikes variant just because Spikes is really good in this current metagame, where I'll appreciate the damage against stuff like Slowbro. There's a lot of grounded Pokemon. Spikes is just another thing that people sleep on, which is just good. And I get enough coverage from Hydro Pump and Ice Beam anyway, and I figured I might as well use Gunk Shot just because it's the thing that makes Greninja so broken in ORAS. So that's that. We're just gonna get into a battle. That's not a perfect team, but it's just something that came together. I just put together to use Mega Metagross. And looks like we found one against an opposing Metagross. And unfortunately, you know, Pursuit is probably going to be a wasted move slot right here. Yeah, I guess the only thing with them, I actually couldn't decide between using Bullet Punch and Earthquake, but I figured I had enough things for this thing, for Heatran, that I really wouldn't need it, and that Pursuit would come more in handy, especially because Latios and Latias are such common utility Pokemon, but we're not going to get to see it here. It's got a standard looking Dragmag. I'm thinking Magneton's a pretty safe lead. I don't know if he wants to lead with Greninja or Heatran. Either way, I can just Volt Switch out of there as he goes into Kinkeldurr. I don't really need Magneton to win this game. Wait, what am I saying? I need it for Greninja. Or rather, I don't mind if I take a. I'm pretty sure I can take one Mach Punch, but I'm just gonna Volt Switch on out of there. And I'm just going to switch into my Landorus T. As he goes for Ice Punch, and that does nothing. I don't care if he hits me with another one, I'm just going to go for my Stealth Rocks. As he goes into his Rotom Wash, that's perfectly fine. I'm just going to go for a U-turn. As he reveals Scarf Rotom, and unfortunately he misses Hydro Pump. That was really unfortunate for him. But I am just... What does he have for... He's got nothing for Keldeo. I can just go into Keldeo and fire off a Secret Sword. Yeah, that was unfortunate. As I can just... He's not Scarfed. He's just... Is he just offensive then? What is this? Oh, I forget. These things they usually run enough speed for Landorus T nowadays, but I need max defense in order to take on Mega Men, so I mean, it can't really be helped. As here, he's most likely just going to switch into his own Greninja, which, again, this is a really offensive team. Like, it's not supposed to have switch-ins to everything, as here he just switches in Metagross. I'm gonna let him Mega Evolve just so I can get the Intimidate on him, because in normal form, Metagross has Clear Body, so I'm just gonna fire off another Secret Sword. Because he's not even faster than me. That does a lot. As he goes for Meteor Mash, expecting me to switch out, as he does get the attack boost now. Which is kind of scary, not gonna lie. But I'm just gonna switch out into my... See, I don't know if Volt Switch kills him. I'm gonna go into my Magneton expecting the, well, he really doesn't have a reason not to go for Meteor Mash again. But yeah, Magneton is fairly safe, and I can just go for a T-Bolt and knock him out. So overall, not a terrible situation for me. I actually don't really think that miss on Landorus T mattered. Oh, well, it's gonna matter here because now I can switch this thing in on his Heatran. I'm thinking he'll probably just want to go for Rocks here, but I'm gonna switch in Keldeo anyway. As he does just go for Lava Plume, which is a fair play. And here I'm gonna get to go into my Greninja and set up my Spikes. As he goes for Protect, and I just go for my Spikes for basically for free. And here I'm just gonna fire off a Hydro Pump. It should 2-hit KO Kinkeldurr after the Spikes damage. But then I miss. Well, he's just going to be able to lay his own Spikes. Not a big deal because I do have my Excadrill, and now I'm just going to fire another Hydro Pump. And we're going to pause until he makes a move. Oh, never mind. He just switches out into Kinkeldurr. And I'm going to be able to hit that up. I don't really care if he Mach Punches me here. I'm just going to go straight for the Ice Beam. That was a decent amount. And right now it's looking like Greninja will clean up the game because I do have Gunk Shot for Rotom W. Pretty sure he gets knocked out at that range of HP. You know, Magnezone can't really... I get to hit Magnezone before it does anything to me. I am an Ice type, so he could go for HP Fire predicting like Excadrill, but then again, I don't need Excadrill to win this game. But actually, you know, it wouldn't be bad just because... Yeah, Excadrill wouldn't be bad just because he doesn't have a real switch into it. Do I be real here and go for a Spike? I'm gonna go for Spikes, predicting the Protect as I just go for Hydro Pump now. If I miss now, it might... No, it doesn't matter, because I just switch into drill. Although it will matter if I lose Greninja that easily, just because after that, I don't have anything for his own Greninja except for my Magneton. He's going to be able to live. I didn't think I would knock him out. He just goes for Lava Plume. I might as well just set up my third layer of spikes here, just because the damage here doesn't really matter. I'm going to die to Life Orb anyway, and I still just get the free switch into my Excadrill. I wanted the spikes damage on his Greninja just so I could clean up with Magneton. And right here, I'm probably just gonna... Oh, did he forget that a Mold Breaker, dude? Gone. So here he's gonna switch in Greninja. I'm gonna save Excadrill for his Magnezone. I'm just gonna sack Landorus T here. I really don't see it being useful this game. This goes for Hydro Pump. He misses. Not gonna matter, as I'm just gonna go for the safe Earthquake. He's gonna take Life Orb damage, and I actually don't know if Volt Switch kills. It's okay. I have enough sacks anyway, so it's really not gonna matter. I'm just gonna Volt Switch out of here, and he does switch into his Magnezone, which I'm going to assume to be the Specs variant. I'm just gonna EQ, and Magneton's just gonna be able to clean up from there. So yeah, that's a good game. So the spike's really coming into play in this game. This team is really threatening. This man's got a Talonflame, he's got a Ferrothorn. What do I have for Ferro? Oh, I have Magneton. Stealth Rock really ruins this team though, just because I do have Metagross to Pursuit Trap his Latios. So hopefully the Pursuit is going to come in handy this game, as I'm just going to be safe and lead off with my Landorus. I don't care if this thing is like Ice Punch Gallade, because I can tank the hit. I don't need Landorus for Talonflame because I do have my Scarf Magneton, but he does switch in Rotom Wash, which is pretty unfortunate because I don't have a switch into it. And this is tough because I don't even know if this thing runs. Well, most Rotom nowadays are really speedy anyway, so I'm gonna assume this thing is speedy as well. So I'm just gonna... Do I need Keldeo? What do I need Keldeo for? As I'm just gonna fire off a... I'm gonna fire for Scald. Just go for the burn. As unfortunately I do get it. That's really unfortunate for him because Rotom Wash kind of destroys my team. As he's just gonna go into Gallade. I have no problem just going back into Landorus Therian and setting up my Stealth Rocks. So he does go for the Psycho Cut, does nothing. I'm just gonna go for my Rocks here. So he goes into Ferrothorn. I have no reason to predict anything on his team. Magneton is completely free. Or is it? Yeah, I have no reason not to just switch in my Magneton. As he misses the Leech Seed, that is so unfortunate. As I'm just going to be able to 2-hit KO him with the Hidden Power Fire. If he had Protect, he might have been able to stall me out with the Leech Seed. So yeah, I'm just going to HP Fire and... he just switches in Gallade. If I'm real, I could go into Metagross predicting Ice Punch. Do I have any reason to? Because I have this thing for his, basically everything on his team except Latios, which I can Pursuit Trap with Metagross. On the other hand, I don't really need Keldeo. I guess I'm gonna save Keldeo though because it's a good sack to this thing, Rotom. So I'm gonna make the safe play. Just switch into Landorus. as he does predict that and go. Well, I guess it's not really prediction per se, but he goes for knockoff, which tells me he probably does not have. He doesn't have Ice Punch. I'm just gonna go for EQ. I lose really nothing by it, as he just takes more damage with Storm Wash. As now I can just sack my Keldeo as he opts to burn me. It's pretty interesting. I can just fire off a Secret Sword. As I was expecting him to go into Latios there, which would have been better for me, because then I would have died to burn and I could have just gone into Metagross. So I think Magneton is fairly safe if he wants to switch in Greninja, because I can freely Volt Switch out of it. If he goes into Latios, I can Volt Switch out of that, go into Metagross. I'll probably have to eat up a Draco, but that's okay, so he does switch in Greninja. As he asked, you guys can't see the chat, but he asked me why I used Magneton over Magnezone, and that is why. And now I think I think Drill's pretty safe. I don't really need it for anything. So yeah, Greninja out of the way. I could save this thing, but I kind of need it for I don't need this thing. I'm just gonna go for Iron Head. Goes for Drain Punch. That's fine. Like I just go to Magneton here, go for Volt Switch. Glade's a problem because I can't really do anything to it. I need a damage on it with the Volt Switch, so that way I can knock it out with Greninja. I'm gonna go for the U-turn here. It's nice and slow. So he goes for the Psycho Cut. Fine by me. I can just go straight into Greninja from here and start firing off Ice Beam. I'm gonna fire for Hydro Pump here, just in case he wants to go for a Roost or anything like that. I don't need Greninja to win this game. So he just goes for Brave Bird. That's perfectly fine. I can just Volt Switch out of here with yeah. Now I win the game with Metagross because all he has is Latios left. I didn't really get to showcase Pursuit because Keldeo ended up being really useless for his team, but you know, that's okay. Magneton doing a ton of work, and you know, I'm just gonna Mega Evolve, go for Meteor Mash. As yeah, he just goes for Psyshock and I just kill him. So yeah, that was a good game. If he had HP Fire and I had missed, that would have been really problematic, to say the least. But I didn't miss. He didn't have HP Fire. So those were two pretty decent games. Felt it showed how the team works a little bit. A little iffy about Excadrill, because I mean, all it really does for the team is Rapid Spin and stack a Water weakness. But I'll be improving the team more. Maybe I'll play with it in a later video. So yeah, Mega Metagross, really good. Magneton, it's something people sleep on, but it came in handy this match. I mean, I wasn't low on the ladder. I was like, I think I hit 1400 that last match. So yeah, we're just gonna end this video. Hope you all enjoyed.